Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on The Explainer. We're having a conversation now with guests that we have had here on the program before, talking about investments in Kenya's tech sector, particularly in Konza development metropolis. There's a lot that's happening there. And once again today, happy to talk about a visit by a Malaysian business delegation scoping out the investment opportunities that exist in the world of tech here in the country. Let me introduce my guests to you, starting with the man on my immediate right. That's Wan Murdani Wan Mohamad, who's the Vice President, Digital Industry Acceleration. Thank you for being with us. And next to him, we have the Principal Secretary, State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui. It's good to have you in the program once again.
Thank you, Vaughan.
And right next to him is Ms. Surya Afandi, who's the CEO of Meraki. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you,
welcome to Nairobi. And then we've got the CEO of Konza Technopolis, that's John Paul Okwiri. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us today. I think the best place to begin would be with you, Bwana PS. Let's talk about this this particular visit. Kenya and Malaysia have been doing business for a long time. Tell us about what opportunities exist and how Kenya is leveraging to expand more opportunities for investment here.
As a country, we've continued to invest in our positioning as the Silicon Savannah, or the hub in technology in the continent. And this has enabled us to connect with global potential investors, including now Malaysia. We've had engagement with Malaysia for quite some time. In June, we had a team that visited Malaysia. We had a delegation from Malaysia who came to scout the African continent. They visited a number of countries. And also we had an online engagement between Malaysian companies and the Malaysian and Kenyan companies. And on the Kenya side, we're looking at how to grow our digital space. And Malaysia and many Asian countries becomes a very good model for us. When we look at, for example, Malaysia exports is 50 times what Kenya exports. A few years ago, we were at the same level. When you go deep and check what really contributes to their exports, it's technology. Over 20% of the exports in technology, including semiconductors, electronic products, and so forth. And this is the area Kenya positions to advance itself, to grow, and also to look at how to support the rest of the African continent. 40% of Malaysians' exports are, or 40% of the employment is focused on export manufacturing. So as a country, as we position ourselves to attract investment in our special economic zones like Konza Technopolis, Naivasha, Togo Kundu, and the other areas, tech will play a very key role, and we are very happy to receive delegations like we've received from Malaysia, and have engagement with Kenyan counterparts, visited some of the locations like Konza Technopolis, and from the government side, we are doing everything to facilitate this investment. It aligns to our manufacturing targets, it aligns with our digital superhighway initiative, and also enabling us to bring partners to achieve our goal of digital Kenya and unlocking the huge potentials in the digital space. Malaysia shared some of the very ambitious goals they have, which aligns with what we are doing as Kenya. They aim to have their digital economy contribute up to 25.3% of the economy. This is a journey that we think on the foundations, Kenya, we have set it right. And we think working with them, bringing investors from there, we are aligning and we are taking the country in the right path. In many political forums, we've talked, we want to walk the journey that our Asian friends like Malaysia have done. I think the opportunity is here.
Yeah. John, what investment opportunities does Konza Technopolis provide or offer to Malaysian companies?
Thank you very much for having me in this interview. We've hosted the Malaysian business community in Konza Technopolis yesterday, and we've been able to showcase what opportunities we have in Konza Technopolis. Most of the investors that we hosted yesterday were investors in technology. Konza Technopolis, we have a national data center which provides this opportunity of interacting with the Malaysian business community in tech. For example, we've been able to interact with investors dealing in drone technology, which is a new emerging technology that as a country and as Africa, we need to adopt. We've also been able to interact with investors in the emerging technologies like AI, machine learning, and big data. And these are investors that are so important to Konza Technopolis in order to be able to realize the vision of a digital economy. Now, as Konza Technopolis, we want to be at the forefront of providing the Malaysian business community the gateway to Africa. We are ready with the infrastructure, and we are ready to support their entry into Kenya and also access the African market. We know that Africa is the next frontier of business, and it's a good time that the Malaysian business community has trained their focus into Africa. And Konza Technopolis, we want to be at the center of this approach.
And that is interesting. Now we're hearing the offering from Kenya. What are some of the specific sectors that attract yourselves and other Malaysian investors to Kenya?
Okay, first of all, let me just talk about Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or MDEC. We are an agency under the Ministry of Digital. So our focus is to build up the digital ecosystem. So the reason that we are coming into this side of the market is we want to have our companies to go global. Talking about the focus sector, we have various focus sectors that we want to promote, because these companies are being developed to make sure that they can build up the ecosystem. The three top focus sectors that I want to talk about is cybersecurity, AI, and drone tech. That's why I think we're bringing 5 companies into this mission, where they have had quite good engagement with the potential partners in Kenya. So what our intention is to make sure that they can strike the deal in terms of penetrating into this market, because our goal is always about making sure that we want to achieve our aspiration of creating about 90 billion ringgit of export in digital services to regions outside Malaysia. So obviously Kenya is one of the markets that we see the potential, and with the support from Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, and we visited Konza yesterday. Obviously there are some synergies that we can put forward, and the environment in Konza, which I believe would be something that the companies will be looking for in terms of placing their operation in Kenya. So we look forward of having that kind of synergies and partnership between Malaysia and Kenya on this thing.
Right. And how about you, Surya?
Well, looking into this and bringing, representing Malaysia as a drone tech company, so that's what we are bringing. Looking into the biggest opportunity in Kenya. So this is, I'm very much a believer of equality in women empowerment, right? Mm-hmm. So looking at that, how we can bring forward in Kenya this technology across supporting the modern agriculture, the smart farming, right? Mm-hmm. Looking into how best that this drone technology, robotic solutions can help in infrastructure. So the visits in Konza yesterday was a fruitful visit, a session that we look into a bigger opportunity, being training the youth for a coming how the career path can be moved forward with the drone tech, right? In a different industry, not only focusing probably in the technology itself, maybe it can go beyond, right? We can look into a bigger path of having not only for agriculture, it can go up to the tower management, asset management, infrastructure, and other solutions. So this industry is something that we can benchmark. What we practices in Malaysia, we bring up to Kenya. And this is the modern way of we are bringing technology involvement and advancement into the whole ecosystems of development technology.
Yeah, and you've mentioned something about, sort of sharing an exchange of information and expertise. And one, Malaysia is known for its expertise in, the digital space, particularly in acceleration. So how do you think that can contribute to Kenya's digital transformation?
I think we have been in the business for the past 25 years.
Yeah.
MDEC's primary mandate is to drive digital economy. So we have about 2,700 companies under our care, and we believe that they have quite enough experience in terms of serving domestic market and ASEAN market. ASEAN market with population of 350 million. So we believe that it will be a good experience for the companies from Malaysia to be able to penetrate Kenya. Because when we come to Kenya, we look at the potential of the Kenya in various sectors, for example, agriculture for the drone, financial services for cybersecurity. So that would be something that we believe the experience that we have gotten earlier in Malaysian market and other regional market will be something which is beneficial to the Kenyan, which we believe through a right partnership we can build up that capability and ecosystem in Kenya to make sure that we can support the transformation of Kenya towards a better governance in terms of using technology to promote certain sectors in their economic development.
Yeah.
Yes.
Skills transfer is, an important aspect of any dealings that we would have. Engineer Tunui, what are the plans to ensure that we have that, as part of the plans going forward to ensure that local talent here is benefiting from some of the investments that are going to be made, possibly following this visit?
So the foundation of this engagement is actually skill enhancement on both sides, because we've realized both sides have something to learn from each other, and also experience sharing. You hear MDEC has been in operation for 25 years, and they are focusing on growing their tech companies, and those tech companies have made a significant contribution to their economy. So the institutions on our side, the government, we are connecting with my counterpart on the other side of Malaysia for learning and working on how we can practically work together, learning from the experience, and also connecting the Kenyan companies. One of the programs we had today was matchmaking. We had Kenyan companies who had expressed interest to connect and meet with the Malaysian companies, and they had sessions to engage. And we believe that engagement will enable them to allow Malaysian companies easily access the Kenyan market, and jointly with the Kenyan counterparts be able to take those experiences to the rest of the continent. I think it's opening a new opportunity for us as Kenya, and look at our SMEs, especially on my side, those who are in the tech space, to see how can we enable them first to support the Kenyan market, and work with partners like the partners from Malaysia to support the rest of the African continent, because the huge opportunities in the emerging spaces, the cybersecurity, the using drones technologies for various uses mentioned, agriculture, asset management, there's huge use cases applicable. We've seen even new solutions and opportunities in emerging space like semiconductor industry. When we went to Malaysia, we had a chance to meet with the semiconductor industry association, and we see also potentials in various areas. Electronics industry is also an area that Malaysia has grown, and we are looking at not just the software, but we look at how we can also collaborate in electronic and manufacturing, which Kenya has just started.
Okay, and how do you ensure long-term profitability and sustainability for investors at Konza, John? So what's the message that you give to our Malaysian visitors?
Yes, Konza Technopolis is an investment destination. Through that, we've been able to demarcate it as a special economic zone, so that it provides the investors with various incentives, both fiscal and non-fiscal. And that includes tax reduction in taxes, and also ability to repatriate the income that they are able to generate within the Technopolis. So these are all opportunities that we've been able to provide to the investors, and we believe that with this opportunity, we've been able to provide to the investors, and we believe that with this opportunity, once they take it up, we will be able to ensure that they are profitable. And also, one of the aspects that we've focused on is matchmaking, as has been mentioned by the PS, so that the Malaysian investors and companies are able to partner with the local technology companies, so that it becomes a win-win for both our local investors and also the Malaysian companies. in that you find that in the current investment state, most of the foreign investors do not want to invest in brick and mortar. And in Konza Technopolis, we've been able to provide that collaboration opportunity for our local investors also to matchmake with the Malaysian companies, so that the local investors are able to invest in the brick and mortar, and then the Malaysian companies are able to bring in the technology. And in that partnership, there is a knowledge transfer that will take care of it as the investment continues. So that is what we are providing as Konza Technopolis, and we are saying that we are ready for investment. We are ready for our investors to take up the opportunity and welcome new technologies into the country, and to be able to access the whole of Africa.
Yeah, and speaking of those technologies, Surya, what are you looking forward to at Konza, for instance? John mentioned there's a drone zone. Are you perhaps looking into setting up a drone facility?
Yeah, I think looking into what best. The keyword is digital transformation, right? When we are looking into how we are delivering, we are demonstrating the technology or the drone hub that they are going to develop in Konza. So this is what we are looking at, how we can upskill the talents, right? How we can train the youth of giving up an opportunity of a new career. So career that can call as a drone pilots, right? This is the features that we can venture on the training, educations, giving an awareness of the new career that we can develop the youth to move to the next level, right? And using technology as a new career is another skills that you will actually upgrade in every industry, in the security as well, surveillance, using drone. So these are the opportunities that we are looking at, not only looking at the hub itself in Konza, right? But we are looking into bigger pictures that we are developing Kenya youth with a new career, with a new opportunity, developing technology.
You've mentioned, those key sectors, security, surveillance, but particularly also working with the youth, and many of those are in the SME sector. That's also a big contributor to Kenya's economy. How do you see SMEs benefiting from this collaboration between Kenya and Malaysia?
I think what we have seen so far is opportunities in the sectoral transformation. Because I think as we come into this market, it is good for us to understand what are the real challenges in the sectors. For example, like in the manufacturing, in agriculture, even in financial services. So if we can find the challenges that requires technology, digital technology, this is where I think we can come in to make sure that we can partner with local partners to see how do we roll out that solutions to make sure that we can address that kind of challenges. And we look at when we roll out that solution, that's where the SMEs along the value chain will be affected, because you require certain services. When we come in, for example, like the company Drone Tech will be coming in with Drone Tech services, but there's a very first services that are required from that services, which we believe that the SMEs of Kenya can be benefited. They can provide various services along that value chain, and I think that in a way would have a direct contribution in terms of how do we uplift SMEs in Kenya. Same like what we did in Malaysia as well, because in Malaysia, for example, 70% of our economy is contributed by SMEs, and 50% of the job employment from SMEs. So if we can have a great impact to SMEs, I think that will open up a lever in terms of pushing the economic agenda of Kenya to a level where we can always have direct benefits and indirect benefits to the economy, to various societies, and also create a proper socio-economic development to the country. So I think that's where I think we have a bigger picture of we coming in, how do we provide solution, how do we give an impact to the overall ecosystem, and how it will then be translated into the economic benefits of Kenya.
And that ecosystem in Kenya, how do we ensure that it's ready to support large-scale investments like the ones we're talking about, particularly in areas like Konza Technopolis, Engineer?
We already have a very good foundation in Kenya. Quite a lot of work has been done, and we are very ready for such a partnership and collaboration. Software sector alone, we can see many companies already providing solutions to even top corporates in Kenya, really locally developed software. We've seen also Kenyan enterprises taking their software even outside this country, that they're able to provide solutions to our neighbors. We've seen global companies also set up software development in Kenya. That endorses that we have the talent and we have the capability for collaboration at the highest level. On the other area of hardware, this electronic industry, this is an area that we have the potential, learning from what Malaysia has done. So about 1.5 years ago, we started discussing how to really address the issues in the digital superhighway, and we realized it's not just adding additional connectivity in broadband or fiber. We also realize even where we have broadband or mobile broadband connectivity, we lacked smartphones. And we are very happy to see private sector in Kenya start something new which was not there before, the electronic manufacturing of smartphones. And the data we have now is almost 2.6 million phones have been manufactured in Kenya, something which was not there before. So this provides a new opportunity that such leverages, such connections can now enable us expand. As you are aware, we have about 66 million phones in Kenya, in the Kenyan market, used by Kenyans, 66 million. And imagine now we can say only 2.6 have been manufactured locally. So the potential for us every year to manufacture 10 million, 15 million is there. And it will probably change our structure of even exports, learning from Malaysia, that probably now in Kenya, 7 years to 10 years with partnership with Malaysia, with our local enterprises, we could see our export structure change from agriculture, leading products like coffee, and we'll start seeing electronics. And if we can also leverage on these global companies looking at how to diversify their supply chains, and Kenya can position itself in the electronics industry. During our last engagement with the US, Kenya was designated as a technology partner, and we were able to access the opportunity of being part of the Chiefs Act of the US. Taking advantage of this and partnership like with Malaysia, Kenya could enter into a premium space of semiconductor manufacturing, which will completely change our economic structure, combining that with electronics, software, new emerging solutions in AI, drones technologies. So we are set in terms of the foundations, and I think we need more such partnerships, and indeed the transformation we are talking of will really come.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're talking about, what the future looks like, John, talk to us about what Kenyans can expect, in the field of ICT in the days, months, years to come. Konza has been around for a while. There's many investments attracting lots of interest from even our Malaysian friends. What can we expect going forward?
We are moving towards Vision 2030, and that is the target that we have. We are currently accelerating the impact of Konza Technopolis, and through such partnerships, we believe that we are going to achieve the vision of Kenya's Vision 2030 within time. And looking forward, as part of the mandate of Konza Technopolis Development Authority, is to ensure that the investors are settled in Konza Technopolis. We believe that with such partnerships with Malaysia, and looking at even cities in Malaysia like Cyberjaya, they were started some 27 years ago. Konza is currently on the 12th year. We believe that with such partnerships, then we'll get the quality investments that we are looking forward to develop our digital economy. So Konza Technopolis wants to be at the forefront of any additional new technology that emerges. We want to be at the forefront of any new emerging technology that comes up. And through partnership with Malaysia, then we are facing a situation where, as Konza Technopolis, we are going to achieve our digital economy the same way Malaysia has done. You find that in Malaysia, the digital economy contributes to above 24% into the GDP. Currently in Kenya, we are still not yet there. But we believe that with such partnerships, we will hit the target and even turn around the fortunes of our country in as far as digital transformation is concerned. Yeah.
And maybe
So,
something
yes.
to add,
Yes.
when we talk of smart cities or cluster development like Konza Technopolis, like what we are talking about, Tokokundu, Naivasha, and other emerging places. For Kenya, it's fast. We've not had such investments or such clusters. But when you visit countries like Malaysia, they've gone through that, and you're able to talk with someone like Mr. Wan says, 20 years ago, this city was like this company was entering, and they have that practical experience. And he was telling me about his personal experience when he visited Konza. He can relate correctly with another city he visited. So the business of building cities is different, like not building a house. It's a journey of decades. It's not a quick fix, but in respect to economic transformation, they will play a very key role in the transformation of a country's economy.
Yeah, that's really important. And allow me to take that as your closing comments, because I think that's a really good place to leave it. That it's a journey of decades. It's not something that'll be realized, quick fix, and it's also built on partnerships. Wan, what are your closing thoughts?
Well, I think just to circle back what PS has said just now, the key to drive the economy is coming from three aspects. The first one is driving investments. I think what Konza is doing is right path in terms of attracting the tech investment into the country. And secondly is in terms of pushing for the adoption. Because as sector is undergoing digital transformation, they have to adopt the technologies. And this is where I think the right policy has to be put in place to make sure that the adoption can be done in a more faster and orderly manner. And third one is local ecosystem. I think this is where I think we are bringing the companies to Kenya based our local company because they have benefited from the program that we have done. So that is something that which is crucial to have a global mindset in terms of having local companies to be able to penetrate international market. So these are three things I think would be something critical for us to be successful in the digital economy. And again, what PS said just now, Cyberjaya took 26 years to be where it is at this point in time. So those are three critical elements that we have really put up a right runway for Cyberjaya to take off from where it was started to where it is at this point of time. I think that is something that we look forward to having a more close collaboration with Kenya to make sure that we can deliver the outcomes which is mutual benefit to both parties.
Absolutely, thank you. Surya, you have the last word.
Yeah, we are ready, looking at what Konza has, and I think a lot of other opportunities looking at during the visits and the programs that we have done for these few days. So the best practices that we have in Malaysia, definitely the deliverables can be in Kenya, right? There's nothing stops here. And that's where we are ready. The entrepreneur has a lot of opportunities to come in, and that's how the business expansions can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're done.
Great, thank you, and thank you for coming. We appreciate that. Surya Afandi, who's the CEO of Meraki, thank you very much for your time. John Paul Okwiri, who's the CEO of Konza Technopolis, appreciate your time here on the program as always. And the Principal Secretary, State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, as well as the Vice President, Digital Industry Acceleration, Wan Murdani Wan Mohamad. Thank you all for being with us here to talk about this Malaysian business community visit to Kenya. 12 companies here exploring the various investment opportunities that the country has to offer, particularly in the area of technology, and seeing what we have at the Konza Technopolis, various areas there that provide suitable investment opportunities that continue to increase and enhance the trade ties between Kenya and Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us here today, and we wish you all the very best as you make that decision to invest in Kenya. That's where we leave it at for now. Thank you so much for joining us on The Explainer tonight. My name is Yvonne Okwara. Have a good night.